Hello, it's Glenn from History Rocks, and today we're going to do a resource review of a book called A Street Through Time. Now, you may have seen it, you might have heard it, you might even use it yourself. I love this book. I think it's absolutely brilliant because it charts the development of a street throughout British history. So let's take a look at it. Right, so this is the book itself. And from the contents page you can see all the various ages that are covered within it. And what I love about this is the fact that it is a fixed viewpoint, so you can really see the continuity and change from age to age, from era to era. And what you can do is you can ask the children to fixate on a certain piece of the picture, a certain part of it, a certain element, and as you turn the pages get them to see and to describe the changes of the things that have stayed the same as well. So it starts with the Stone Age and then we move into the first farmers. So again, maybe he's asking them to look at the houses of the Stone Age and looking at going, right, well, how have the houses here changed here? Look at the materials, the size of them, how they're constructed. Perhaps he's looking at the river itself. What's happened with the river? All right, well, now we can see people within it, we can see people fishing for it. Don't forget about the background as well, because in the background we can't really see a lot here, but over here we can start to see a burrow, possibly for religious purposes and burials and what have you. When we then move on to things like the Iron Age, we can see that there's now hill forts in the background. We can see that's an ancient borough now. That's been left alone. We can see that the village itself has changed, and we also get these extra little bits of information as well dotted around, which are absolutely fantastic. When we move to the Romans, we can see actually there's a huge change there. We've got all these different buildings, we've got different material types, it's a lot busier, and there's now a bridge over there and the river's clearly being used for different things. When we then move to the Anglo-Saxons, things seem to have kind of gone a bit backwards. Now we know the Anglo-Saxons didn't like Romans and they didn't like the Roman stuff that they built, so you can see here the amphitheatre has kind of been left to ruin and a lot of the brickwork has kind of been replaced. Then move on to the Vikings, and if you want to look at something perhaps like the Victorians, you might want to look at something like this and see the different materials that have been used, the busyness of the street, the fact that the houses are now multifunctional, the river's been used for different things, and then it also shows what it might look like today and the modern equivalent of this street. So it's really interesting going from something like the Roman age to the modern age and drawing parallels from there. Similarities, differences, causes, changes, continuity. In the back we also get a timeline, which is really fascinating because it talks about things that are going on around the world, not just within Britain as well. It links it in with the British aspect, but it also talks about things that were going on in the wider world as well, because we don't want the children to learn these topics in isolation. We want them to know that other people were doing other things around the world. And then you've got your standard glossary and index at the back. So there's the book. So you can buy the book from a number of places. It's not very expensive, and the way that I tend to use it is I'll use something like an iPad and I'll connect it to my whiteboard so that we can see it on a large scale using the camera app, sort of like a visualizer. So I'll put some links in the description as to where you can find it and where you can buy it. I would recommend it. It's very visual. The children seem to grasp a lot from using it, especially those children that might struggle with memory. So give it a go. Let me know how you get on with it, and happy history, folks.